Hey guys, so today we actually took delivery of this 2020 Tesla Model Y. As you guys have probably read online, there's been a lot of quality issues with these new cars as they're relatively new. Tesla's still going through the process of figuring out how to build these. We did have a Model 3 before this, and basically that car was built pretty well because it was like around like a year or a year and a half into production, and Tesla had most of it figured out. But this particular car here is built in June 2020, so this month. And let's go and check out what this car has in terms of issues. So first, let's go and start on the outside, walk around the entire car, check out some of the problems that we have with this car, and hopefully how Tesla can fix them within the coming weeks. And then let's go and hop on the inside and see what's going on. There are some pretty ridiculous things that are wrong with this car that I would say are completely unacceptable. And you'll see what those things are later in the video. It's kind of ridiculous. So first, let's go and start off with the front. I guess the biggest part of the car is the paint. So we're not too concerned about the paint in terms of little scratches or like dust under the paint or like a little bit of runoff. Because in a few years, we know the car is going to be like in a certain condition, and we're not too concerned about that. We're mostly concerned about panel gaps, panel fitment, and how everything actually works. So the first thing, I guess, is the front or the frunk, the bonnet, the hood, whatever you want to call it. We can see our car actually has some pretty decent lines all around. So it's pretty even. It matches up with the bumpers pretty well. It's pretty flush. So we got pretty lucky there. A lot of people had some issues with that. But if we come around the side, this is the first problem we have. We can see that the front fender is completely mismatched from the bumper. So in the back here, this is what we're supposed to be looking at, is a little bit of panel gap. But here it ends up completely overlapping, and the fender actually sticks out so much you can see right through it. But that's not normal. And then if we come further over, the headlight's actually sticking out a little bit, but that's okay. The problem is if we come over here, there's another big gap right here with the front bumper and the headlight. Overall, that quality is just very poor. And then if we walk further down the side after this fender portion, we look at our doors. Our doors are actually aligned pretty well. So we see a pretty consistent gap down the side. But this part here is sticking out. We're not sure if that part can be fixed, but this could be future concern for like catching dust or like catching debris as the car drives down. Because in the past, we did have a car with one of the hinges sticking out, and that part was just dirty as, like, it's always dirty. And then if we walk further down, another common problem with these Teslas are the trim pieces not matching up, but our car here is actually pretty good. They're all pretty level. This back here is a little off, but it's not bad. So this side of the car, we're actually pretty happy about. And then if we come around the back, another big issue that we've seen online is basically the rear hatch of the car is completely misaligned. Our car's also not bad in that department. So it's flush with the rear lights. It's got a consistent gap. This gap right here is also pretty consistent. It's pretty even. This side looks pretty good. However, if we do open the tailgate, there's a little bit of rubbing going on here, and we're not sure if it's because it's a little indented. That might be normal. So we got to get that checked out. So if we just go and open the tailgate, you hear that rubbing right when you open it. So hopefully that gets fixed, but it's not nearly as bad as the other cars where it won't even latch. So our trunk actually latches every time, so that's good. But we can also see there's a little bit of indent in terms of the taillight compared to this portion of the taillight. And then I guess the more dramatic side is on the other side that I left for later. So that side, the trunk seemed pretty fine. This side, this line's not bad, but then if you come to the bottom here, it actually sticks out a big chunk above the tail light, and it's not supposed to be like that in the slightest. So it might be because of something on this side that's completely mismatched, that's causing the rubbing on that side. So it's something in this corner. Another issue we have is the charge port not being flush at all. So it's actually getting a little better for some reason. Probably because I was messing around with it. But like, you can see a big chunk coming out, sticking out right there. So if I, yeah, basically that's how this is going. So the charge port, that's not okay. And then if we come down from the charge port, this line right here, it goes well, and then all of a sudden, boom. Why is there a bulge in the middle of this intersection of these two panels? Like, this is going so well. Okay, that's not bad. Like, it's a little wider, but it's still not bad. And then boom, it sticks out completely. Like, I don't know how that happened, but it did. Hopefully they can do something about that. And then this is where the problem gets kind of ridiculous. We did not spot this at delivery because it's not something that we were looking for at all. When you take delivery of a new car, you expect all the windows and the windshield and all the glass basically to be intact and a full piece, right? Apparently not. If we open this door here, and we can see there's actually something missing in this corner. So yeah, so this glass is actually chipped, and instead of being like it is on the other side, there's a chip out of the corner of this glass. I don't know how that managed to get to us and how it got delivered like this, but it did happen. Hopefully Tesla can fix that. Right now we have a service appointment scheduled for mobile service. I don't know how that's going to work out, but we'll see. Coming further around, we also have a slight issue with the front door misaligned slightly towards the front and a little bit up. So we can see that this gap is a lot tighter than the other side, and it's causing some problems. So if we go and open up the door, first of all, it pops out a lot more with a lot more force than the other doors. It's probably because of the alignment. And then we can see there that it's actually very close to rubbing. So that's not good. But the main problem is this door is actually already rubbing up here. So the black trim is getting scratched, and you can see that the paint is coming off right here. So that needs to get fixed as well. And then if we just come further in the front, there's actually not too many issues in terms of this side. The only issue is the headlight is out beyond the bumper, but that's also on the other side, so maybe that's acceptable. Now let's go and hop inside and see some of the problems on the inside. So the driver's seat, not too concerned about, but I guess before we hop in, most of the issues were actually just dirty handprints. So we had a lot of dirty handprints on the front trim right here, the white trim. We had a lot of handprints here, and then we also had a lot of handprints on the headliner. And if we hop in here, we can actually see that our headliner, there's a lot of fraying going on around the top. You can also see that here, and there were some handprints overall. And now you can't see it very clearly. I'll try to post a picture of it. But basically what there is you can see all the glue residue on this. So this is a lot poorer made, I guess that's how you would say it, than our Model 3. So we kind of have a problem with this, and hopefully Tesla will do something about it, but it's not bad. And then if we hop out here and open the rear doors, another big problem we have is actually right here. We had this seat delivered with a little tear in it. So as you can see, that's a tear right there, and that's not okay. But that's how our car was delivered. And also, our car doesn't have the issue where this seat sticks up more than the other seat, so pretty happy about that. Also, before I go on the other side, take note that this side right here, it is flush and normal. And then let's go and hop on the other side. Or actually, before the other side, let's go and take a look at the trunk. So within the trunk, everything's actually pretty decent. So both of our switches work. All of it folds flat, and that's actually a common issue. I don't know how they forget to connect these buttons, but it happens. And finally, let's get on this side. This side has more problems. So we can see that the trim piece right here is completely popping out, and the other side, this piece is hard. So if you push down on it, nothing happens. If you push down on the bottom piece, nothing happens. But like, this is completely just like moving, and this is popping out. So we're not sure what happened there, but that's like that. Another issue I had on this side, that's, I guess, general build quality issues that is the same on the other side, so I'm assuming is the same, is this piece actually does not cover it up. As you can see, like the top does cover it up right here. It covers it up a little. But the bottom here, you can stick your finger directly in there and you can see wires. Like, how is this plastic piece not long enough for where the rubber can cover it and you cannot have a gap here? Like, there's a legit gap right here that you can see the wires. And the other side is the same, so I'm assuming every car is like that. Which is pretty bad, but like, can't do anything about it. You can see I just got out there and this just popped out. That was like that. I tried to push it back in, it didn't work. So yeah, so I've already actually put in a service request for all of these issues. And I guess you guys can stay tuned for another video, and hopefully they are able to fix most of it. We took delivery of the car because we personally did not think any of these issues were major enough for us to refuse delivery. The only thing that we didn't see and we would have refused delivery for is that little chip right there. So everything else about this car is actually decent in our opinion for like a first year model Tesla that's still going through some production trials. Also, I guess one more thing is the interior. This white does show a lot of dirt. So if you get the black interior, it's probably a different story and it's slightly different. So we did not have as many issues on the interior, which we actually really appreciated. So I guess that's the video. There are other quality issues that I do not go into. Like the paint, it's actually really sparse. The build quality in general is just not up to par compared to European rivals, but I guess that's what we get. So yeah, stay tuned for an update on how everything goes, but that's the video for today, and stay tuned for more content with this car as well as other cars. Thanks guys.